Try to do it without these glasses today, honey. Let's see. Okay, quick test of the audio. Good. Okay, I think we are ready to get started. Ready to get started. So, hello again. We are doing another lunch and learn today. I plan on doing 3 of these in a row. So we did one yesterday. In case you missed it, you can go check that out. And then today's, and then hopefully we'll do this again tomorrow. So I want to start doing more of these around this time just to give you some tips and information about hair health, of course. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to spend a lot of time fumbling over my words in the beginning. So let's just go ahead and get into today's session. So again, this is day 2 of our Lunch and Learn series. And if you are new here, my name is Kendra. I am the founder of 180 Hair and the creator of the 180 Method. So in this business, I focus on helping women over the age of 40 heal their hair and their whole self, not just by buying more products. Okay, so I teach holistic hair health. All right, and this has to do with everything internally, not just buying another product. All right, and my focus is on your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition. So we look at those 3 things when we decide what it is that may be causing your hair health issues, your hair loss issues, or anything dealing with the scalp. Okay. So again, my approach is a little bit different than most people that you'll find here on social media, because I'm not just teaching you about chasing length. We're not just worried about length. We're worrying about or chasing alignment. We want to make sure that our bodies are in alignment so that all of the processes of our body are functioning optimally. Okay. Again, your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition play an integral part in your hair health. Okay. Now, a lot of women think that they are not doing enough. Okay. And it's not that you are not doing enough. It's just that no one ever told us to look deeper, especially as Black women. We'll get into a little bit more of that later. So I want you all to get comfortable. If you are on your lunch break, thank you so much for being here. If you are watching this on the replay, again, thank you for tuning in. So I want to help you fix your routine from the inside out. Okay, today's topic is specifically about 3 things your hair and scalp might be trying to tell you. All right, we're going to look at the deeper truths about what happens when we experience hair issues and the fact that we probably need more than just another product, right? So if your body has been whispering to you for a while now, and sometimes life happens, right? We have all these things and we don't feel safe enough to slow down. Okay. Life comes in at all directions. I get it. And when that happens, those little whispers from our body actually turn into symptoms. Okay. And I always say hair loss, hair health issues are a symptom, not a problem. Okay. A lot of times we think my hair loss is a problem, shedding is a problem. All of those things are symptoms. Okay. They're symptoms of something that's going on inside the body that we need to take a closer look at. Okay. So whether it's flaking, tenderness, hair loss, shedding in your brush, in your sink, in your shower, wherever you are seeing hair loss or hair breakage, it's easy to just call these things problems. But I want you to start looking at your hair health issues differently. Instead of just thinking of them as problems, think of your hair as a messenger. I said this yesterday. Messenger from your nervous system, your hormones, and even sometimes your heart. And I don't want to get into a lot of the medical part of it, but I just want to open your mindset to explore outside of just using products, okay? So that you'll know and understand that when your body is out of alignment. Now, also, I want you to remember that your hair and scalp are not separate from you, okay? Your hair and scalp is not something that's separate from your body. It's in conversation with your stress, the amount of sleep that you're getting or not getting, your nourishment, your emotions, all of these things. So, of course, when something is off, your hair strands, your scalp are the first things to raise their hand, raise its hand, so to speak, in a lot of cases. Okay. So this Lunch and Learn series has been about us learning how to listen when our hair is giving us these signals that are symptoms of a bigger problem that we need to address. Okay. So hair healing starts when we stop asking questions like, what product do I need? Because I get that all the time. I've been doing this for a long time. And the question that I get asked a lot, what's the best shampoo for Black women? What's the best hair oil for hair loss? What's the best? Everybody wants to know what is the best. Now, products all play a role in your hair health. They definitely do. I'm not here to speak negatively on products. We should use products, yes, but they don't create the full story for your hair. They are just supporting actors. Like I said yesterday, these things are just supporting actors. They do not tell the whole story of your hair health, okay, of your hair care. So instead of asking what product do I need, because I've been dealing with this issue for years and years and years, I want you to start asking what part of me is asking to be heard, what part of my body needs attention. And there are simple things you can do. This is not difficult steps to follow, simple things that you can do. I'm all about simplicity because I know the number one thing we like to say is I'm busy. I ain't got time. I don't have enough time for that. Okay. So I have to present information in a way that's simple and easy for most people to follow. Okay. Because if anything is too many steps or too hard, I lose y'all. Yeah, I'll be ready to give up and move on to something else. So first thing I want to cover is I will mention a lot about the nervous system. So without getting too technical and too medical, I just wanted to briefly cover that. So as I'm talking through this video, you understand where I'm coming from. So the nervous system and why it matters for your hair. Okay, your nervous system is like your body's internal communication highway or your internal communication. It controls how you respond to stress, rest, healing, and growth, or hair regrowth, if we're talking about that in specifically. So there are two main modes that your nervous system switches between. That's your fight or flight, okay, and then your rest and digest. So fight or flight is the survival mode. That's where most of us live. Let's be honest. Most of us are living in this fight or flight mode, survival mode, where we're always tense, we're always worried. Our energy gets rerouted to other parts of our body. So we start feeling tired. We can't think straight, all of these things, right? And then so the place where we need to be, our nervous system needs to be most of the time, is the rest and digest mode. Okay. This is our healing mode. This is the place where our body feels safe enough to heal, to nourish, and to grow. But the problem is that many of us, again, especially Black women, live in chronic survival mode. All right. And we're constantly on alert. We're constantly over analyzing. We're constantly worried about how this is going to get done or how, all of these things. So we are on high alert all the time. We're overgiving, overperforming, overdoing, and then we're not getting enough rest. We're not getting enough sleep. We're not getting enough care. We're not eating properly. Okay. So when you care for your nervous system and you recognize, yes, I have been tense a lot. Yes, I have been overgiving. Yes, I have been worried a lot. I have been doing all of these things. Remember, those things affect your body. Okay. All of these things affect your body. So Just keep that in mind. And the things that we can do to kind of calm our nervous system is just breath work. A lot of times you'll hear people say, take a deep breath to calm down. Like that literally is a thing. Taking a deep breath, getting rest, mindfulness, grounding, nourishment, of course, eating good, healthy, whole foods are great ways to give your body permission to shift back into safety so that the true healing and health can begin. Okay. So, and the reason I wanted to bring that up because we can't heal what we don't understand. If you don't understand how this stuff works, I teach about the hair cycle, the hair growth cycle. I teach about the key elements of the scalp. I teach about hair strands and all of these things. And if you don't understand like how this works, it'll just keep you confused. So imagine trying to fix your car and you don't know anything about cars. You don't know anything about engines and how they work. You hear weird noise, and instead of trying to figure out what's wrong, you just turn up the music. You ignore it. Okay, you see a warning light on the dashboard, and instead of trying to get it looked at, you just cover that light up with a piece of paper. You just out of sight, out of mind, right? And then we do things that have nothing to do with the main problem. So this would be like changing the tires on your car when the real problem is really under the hood, right? Now, when I say that, you're like, yeah, that don't make sense. That's exactly what a lot of us are doing when it comes to our hair. We're treating problems that have nothing to do with the real issue, okay? A lot of times we see extra shedding and we're like, oh, I need a new shampoo. What's the best shampoo for shedding? Or we feel that our hair is overly dry and we think, oh, well, I need heavy butter or heavy oils or butters. That's not always the case. These are just surface level solutions for deeper signals. So I always tell people, yes, products will help with the issue temporarily, but the permanent solution is going to be we have to go deeper. Okay, so we are not just naming symptoms or treating symptoms. We are treating more than that. We are dealing with the emotional weight. We are dealing with our mindset. We're dealing with our habits and our nutrition. Okay, I'm going to keep saying that so we can get it in our head. All right, so dealing with these symptoms, like I talked about, the dryness and the shedding, it doesn't just mess with your appearance. Okay, so I understand the emotional weight that hair health, hair loss, and all of these things carry. Again, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've heard so many stories about the emotional turmoil that it carries for a lot of women. Some women, it really doesn't matter that much. I just want to kind of get it fixed. Some women, it's like, I am devastated, right? So it just depends on the person. But either way, I know that there is an emotional weight that hair loss and hair health carries. Okay, it messes with your sense of self. Um, when your hair no longer feels like your hair, when you catch a glimpse of your hair or yourself in the mirror and it feels unfamiliar and you're like, why won't my hair just get back to how it used to be? Okay. I understand that hair is the visible part of our identity. Okay. A lot of times your hair has been holding a lot of things, a lot of stress and all of these things for years and years and years. And when you finally start to take notice, you don't realize how you've been inconsistent in addressing the real issue. Okay. So we get consistent in routines and products and those things, but we don't get consistent in treating the real issue, the deeper issue. Okay. The part that nobody talks about enough. But I want you to know that whatever you're feeling, it is real. Okay. And more importantly, you are not alone. You have me to help you through understanding what these issues are and getting to the bottom of it so we can shift. Okay. So I want to talk about how we can gently disrupt this narrative. Okay. That we are the problem, or, we're doing something wrong, or that our body is, our body is having issues. I want you to look at this a different way, because your body isn't that your body is breaking down. It's just speaking up. Think about it like that. Okay. Our hair isn't necessarily rejecting our efforts, because I hear this all the time. Kendra, I've been doing all the things, all the things, all the things. Nothing's working. Okay. It's just to let you know that something deeper needs to be done. Okay. So again, with the 180 method, we don't just chase results. We don't just chase length. We try to understand what the deeper issue is. So I want to cover a few things that I know are main issues For women dealing with hair health issues, of course, dryness, scalp issues, and excessive shedding. So these are like the top three outside of growth, because everybody wants their hair to grow. I get that. But the top issues outside of that, which these can hinder growth, okay, I want to talk about how what actually could be happening inside the body to cause these issues. Okay, so let's start with dryness. Now, yes, dryness is definitely or can definitely be a hydration issue. We hear a lot of people talk about, and even me, I tell women hydration first. We always want to hydrate internal and external. But it can also be your nervous system, as we talked about earlier, running on fumes. Okay, dryness could be a signal from your body that it's depleted. Okay, it isn't always about using the right products. Sometimes it's a signal that you are internally dehydrated, you are internally deficient in nutrients. Okay, now remember, you have to remember about the hair and um, how your body works with your hair as far as nutrients go. Okay, so your body is always going to prioritize vital nutrients to your vital organs. So when you eat something healthy and you haven't been eating, you don't eat healthy that much, or you don't get enough nutrients, your body is going to prioritize your major organs first. Your hair is not considered a major organ. So if you are constantly depriving your body and yourself of specific things, then your hair is going to suffer, period. Okay. Your hair is going to be the last thing to get the nutrients. So the essential organs of the body, your heart, your brain, lungs, all of your vital organs, like I said. So when you're chronically dehydrated, when you're not getting enough healthy fats, your omega-3s, when your body is not absorbing nutrients properly due to gut issues. So I talk to women a lot about that. Sometimes we take a lot of supplements and vitamins, and we eat healthy, but we have gut issues, so we're not properly digesting these things that we're eating. If we're constantly in survival mode or fight or flight mode, things start to get dry. Okay, your strands lose elasticity, your moisture doesn't stay where it's needed. Okay, so these are some things that are happening inside of your body that can cause dryness. A product will help that temporarily, but you want long-term solutions. These are some of the things you have to take into account. Okay, so the next thing, let's talk about the scalp. What about the body is causing scalp issues? Okay, so let's talk about a tender scalp, itchy scalp, irritated scalp, all of these things. So a sore and tender scalp is a physical symptom, right? But it's also it could also be stored tension, emotional issues, hormonal issues, physical overload, right? So think about things like, are you clenching your jaw a lot? Because we get mad and we trying to hold it in. We clench that jaw, and sometimes we don't unclench it. Okay. Sometimes stress and being in constant fight or flight mode causes us to grind our teeth at night. Wearing high tension, high pressure styles for too long. That's when you hear people talk about wearing tight hairstyles for too long, being under a lot of emotional pressure. These are things that affect your nervous system. Okay. So when you are overwhelmed and emotionally carrying too much, your body is not able to release the stress, so it stores it. That's why another thing I tell people, if you can get to a gym, to a park, somewhere to start to help to release that stress from your body. You have to have a way to release stress from your body. I generally go to the gym about 4 times a week. I don't go to the gym for muscles. I mean, I do a lot of strength training, but my goals are not, I want to be strong, I want to have big arms. No, I go to the gym. Priority one is to release stress, to keep my body from being, overwhelmed with life. Okay. So you need to have a way to relieve the stress from your body. That's a real thing. Whether you do exercise, yoga, deep breathing, go outside and scream, yell, I don't know. But I have a ton of videos about how stress affects your hair health. I would check those out if that's something that you are struggling with. Okay. So moving on, the third thing I wanted to talk about in terms of what is going on inside of your body that causes hair issues is shedding. Okay. Now, excessive shedding could mean weak follicles. We understand that if we are not getting the proper nutrients again, that our follicles can grow weak, among other things, right? But if you are, again, dealing with stress, trauma, if you've had any type of trauma or traumatic events in your life, um, hormonal shifts, you're not giving yourself space to process a lot of changes that are happening quickly in your life, this could be definitely something deeper going on. Okay, so you have to remember your hair grows in cycles. Okay, I have videos on the hair growth cycle if you want to understand more about that. But your hair grows, it rests, it sheds, and then it grows more, grows more, regrows. But when your body is under shock or dealing with very stressful events, your natural rhythm gets disrupted or interrupted. Okay. So just remember that. And again, this can be triggered by stress, hormonal imbalances. This is menopause, PCOS, thyroid issues, poor nutrition, diet inconsistency, iron deficiencies, emotional trauma or grief. Okay. Um, when when we lose loved ones, sometimes our body shifts into the shedding phase a lot sooner than it normally would. So, and because of how the hair growth cycle works, we may not see that shedding until 2 to 3 months after the traumatic event. Okay. So if it looks sudden, if you see sudden hair shedding or hair loss, think about what has happened in the last 2 to 3 months. Did I have a traumatic event that happened 2 to 3 months ago? And if so, your body is just now responding. And through your hair, you'll see the shedding. Okay. So shedding is not always a setback. Sometimes it's just part of the process of release. Okay. So just ask yourself, if you have shedding that you don't understand why and you've tried things, is it related to something that major that may have happened in your life in the last 2 to 3 months? Okay. Your hair and scalp are like messengers. They are trying to communicate with you. You can just begin to respond in love and understanding what the deeper issue is. Okay. So again, if you're dealing with dryness, you want to nourish from the inside out. Ask yourself, am I drinking enough water? Am I getting enough healthy fats? Is my routine actually, am I making sure in my hair routine that I'm sealing in moisture, or is it just sitting on top and evaporating? Right. You can start your mornings with a glass of water. You can add your healthy fats to your smoothie. Use your hydrating mist and your oils together. So you always hydrate first and then follow up with an oil to make sure that it gets locked in. Okay. With scalp tenderness, you can always do scalp massages for that. I say start with 5 to 10 minutes. Some people say up to 2 hours. You have to do what's realistic for you. Okay. Invest in some calming essential oils like rosemary or lavender. Those are great for scalp massages, and they also help to stimulate blood flow, especially rosemary. So you want to use those mixed with a carrier oil. Doing some light stretching, especially from the shoulders up, because this can impact your scalp as well. If you are someone that wears tight hairstyles, you know your hairstyle is tight, my friend, then it may be time to give your hair a break from that. Okay. And then with the excessive shedding, some things that you can do is make sure you are getting protein. Remember, your strands are made up of mostly protein. So you want to make sure you are getting enough protein each day with every meal, especially if you are dealing with excessive shedding. Protein with every meal. I can give you some examples, but I know some of y'all don't eat certain foods. Some of you all are vegan, vegetarian. Look up what foods are high in protein. Okay. Do your research. Eat more of that. Okay. Sometimes it's our iron levels that are low. You may want to check with your doctor on that. Prioritize sleep. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Listen, I've said this before. I'm the type of person, I need sleep. I can't function off 4 or 5 hours of sleep. No, no, ma'am. I need at least 8. I've always needed a lot of sleep. And I say a lot, and maybe that's normal. I don't know. But most people I know is like, girl, you sleep 8 hours? I wish. Like, I can't not sleep 8 hours. Okay. And then if you're able to, you want to always make sure you are journaling your hair issues. Okay. That's what's going on in your life and how your hair is being affected. If you want to go that deep, that's fine. Okay. You don't have to do all of these things at once. I know it's a lot of information, but really, I just want you to start. Okay. Start with something, with patience, with curiosity, and with compassion. Just start. Okay. Now, so what I want to do here is, again, just reiterate the fact that we need to understand how our body works. Okay, what is going on inside of your body? And it's simple things. I want to keep saying that it's simple, because when I start having these conversations, it's like I'm going beyond, I know I'm going beyond what people are normally taught. And that's, look for specific products to treat specific issues. People don't want to hear you need to start eating healthier, especially after you reach a certain age. Like, that's a real conversation. And I've had that conversation with many people privately, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Okay. They just want me to tell them, girl, what product do I need to use? And that's fine. But just understand that the deeper issue, if it is ignored, it will get worse. Okay. We just need to learn how to listen to our bodies and act accordingly. Okay. So that you can stop guessing. Stop guessing and start healing not only your hair, but your body. And if this is where you are, I just want you to know you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. Okay, I am here to help, and not just on these videos. So if you want more personalized support, I have, I was trying to see how long we've been on live before I do too much talking. Before I do too much more talking. Okay, so if you want more personalized support, I can meet you exactly where you are. Okay, so I do have some coaching sessions available. You can find those pinned in the comment of this live or in this video. We do 3 types of support. So you can do an email session. That's just where I have you fill out a questionnaire, and I send you back a document with some specific information based on what you told me. We can do a video call, which is the next step up from that if you choose. And it's basically a conversation. So you still fill out a questionnaire, tell me what your basic or your most pressing hair issues are, and we work together to come up with a plan. Okay, and then the third level is the VIP coaching. That one you have to complete an application for, you have to be approved, because again, I have been doing this for a long time. And a lot of time women don't want to do the work. Okay. They just want to keep talking about what's not working and complaining about what they're doing, and I'm like, I don't want to hear no complaining. If you are not ready to do the work, do not invest the money. I do not like people wasting their money, and I don't like wasting my time. So that is an offering that is very limited to people that I have to vet and make sure they are really ready to do the work. Okay. And what I give you is not just hair advice, it's actual support. Okay. And a lot of times you just need somebody to teach you how to understand what your dryness, shedding, scalp tenderness actually really means, teach you how to nourish your hair properly, what to eat properly. It's not about being on a diet. It's just specific things that you should be eating anyway. Okay. And then how to build a routine that fits your lifestyle. Okay. I created a emergency hair care planner. I think it's still on the website, but after I created it, I realized that, I need to make sure to tell people that your plan should always be based on your lifestyle. Because I can go crazy and be like, look, you need to be doing this in the morning, this in the afternoon, and this in the evening. Like I can break it down specific to everything. But then like I said earlier, you give people too much and then they lose focus or they lose interest. So we have to keep it very basic. So I'm saying all that to say we help you to create a routine that fits your life and fits your schedule. And then the most important part is your mindset, helping you shift your mindset from frustration to confidence. Most of the women that I have worked with are extremely frustrated and skeptical, very much so skeptical because they have already spent a lot of money. They've already bought all the latest and greatest oils and all the products, and they probably, some of them will say they have been burned by, stylists. No shade to stylists at all, but these are the stories that I've heard. Somebody messed their hair up or what, skeptical is what I'm trying to get at. So I just want you to trust yourself before you trust me. And that's the thing. One of my main missions is to get you to know your hair so well that nobody can dupe you into buying something that you don't need. That's my mission. If that's all you get from me, then my job is done. Nobody should be able to dupe you into buying something you don't need. Why? Because you know your hair better than anybody. Okay? So that's the place I want you to get to, is that you understand what your hair needs. You understand the phase or the stage your hair is in, and you know where you are trying to get to. Okay? Now, your hair is not hopeless. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm saying this over and over because, again, I hear the conversations. I have the conversations, and I understand if people are telling me these things in private coaching, in DMs, in emails, then I know there's other people that are out there having these feelings and they aren't saying anything. Okay? So our bodies are wise. All right? These bodies that we have were made to do a lot of things that we don't even have to worry about if it's doing it or not. It's just naturally happening. Okay? So all we have to do is be in alignment with that. Be in alignment with what your body is already doing. Okay? And everything will start to flourish. You are allowed to start over. If you need a fresh start, that's fine. But this time I want you to start over with the knowledge and information that you need to do it differently, okay? To go deeper. All right? So if you are here, please say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Or if you have questions, let me know. So if you have questions, I'll answer those in the chat, and then I will let you all go. So let me look over here. I need to move my screen around. Oh, we've only been on 33 minutes. I don't know why that said an hour. Okay, anyway. Miss Wilma, hey friend. Happy Wednesday. She says, that's exactly why I went back to my natural hair locks. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That is the thing. The natural hair is the way to go. Now, I say that, but also I have to understand that, there are women that refuse to go natural, and I respect that. I respect however you decide to wear your hair, just as long as you understand what goes along with that. Okay, that's it. I just want you to understand what goes along with however you decide to wear your hair all the time. Okay, I've had conversations with women that were like, I'm always gonna wear a wig and a weave. I'm always gonna wear my braids, but how can I get my edges to grow back? Like, ma'am, you can one or the other. Like, you can't have both. You can't continue to wear tight braids and tell me that you are always going to wear your braids and this is how you wear your hair and you are not going to change it, and then ask me how to grow your edges. Like, no. Get off of my get out of my email, please. Hello, Audley. Nice to see you again. Good afternoon. Watching from the US time. Good to see you. Hey, Miss Wilma. Miss Wilma, what are you up to today on this Wednesday? So if you're just now getting here, we were talking about 3 things that your hair and scalp might be trying to tell you. So we just went through like some of the deeper things that could be going on inside of your body when you're dealing with dryness, scalp issues, shedding, and thinning. Okay, because it's not always about the products. Sometimes we need to deal with some internal stuff. Okay, so that's what we were discussing today. And we went through how dryness can be a sign of internal dehydration. Okay. How dryness can be a sign of not getting enough healthy fats in our diet. Okay. What else? Nutrient depletion. So we're not eating enough healthy foods. Okay. Um, and then we talked about scalp tenderness or scalp issues, how that can be an issue from internal stress, okay? Emotional pressure. We talked about how excessive shedding can be signs of major life-changing issues, major trauma or emotional grief, or even things like poor nutrition, crash dieting, and iron deficiencies. So yes, we are flipping the script a little bit on how we talk about hair health. I've done a lot of videos that talks about products to use and habits, routines to do, but now we are going deeper because I want my ladies, my women to be healed from the inside too. Okay. Remember, hair issues are a symptom. They are not a problem. Hair loss is a symptom. It's not a problem. Okay, we want to deal with the problem, and a lot of times the problem is inside. And I understand that, sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow. That's a tender topic. People don't want to talk about it. They don't want to touch it, but we are touching it now. Okay, we are touching it. You are so welcome. Miss Wilby, you say you're doing nothing at all. I hear you, friend. I hear you. This is day 2 of me doing a live. You would be proud of me. I'm looking down here because my chat is here. I know that the camera is here, so anyway, Miss Wilma, you would be proud of me, friend. This is day 2 of me doing a live lunch and learn. So I'm doing this series yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I plan to do another live tomorrow where we're just going deeper into hair health and hair issues. So if you are free tomorrow, I plan to be back. And that is for everyone. If you're here, join me back here again tomorrow. Yesterday's video or yesterday's live is still up. I'm going to create an edited version of that so that it just goes straight through with some timestamps. So you can just select the part of the video that is important or relevant to you and just watch that. Okay. And I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't see any questions. And we did good. Today we are at almost 40 minutes. And I think yesterday we were at 45 minutes. So that was good. We didn't stay on too long. Swimmer says, okay, that's great. All right, y'all. Remember, if you need any assistance with your hair routine, your hair health, you have questions, I am now offering one-on-one sessions. Okay, I've linked those in the chat underneath this video. I also, of course, have products, physical products, that's actual hair care products if you want to check those out on the website. I also have a few ebooks and guides and resources that you can download that'll help you on your journey. Several blog posts. I have a YouTube channel, of course. Subscribe if you haven't already. And then my Facebook group, I have that as well. I will link that after, or no, actually it's in the description. The Facebook group link is in the description. You can join my email community. If you new subscribers get 20% off of any product or resource, any paid product or resource. And what else do we have? I said blog posts, videos here on YouTube. Also, if you are somebody with a short attention span and you just want to watch some quick tips, catch me on TikTok. On TikTok is all of my short videos is just like a minute or less. Okay. So that's what you'll find on TikTok. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I still have a lot of work to do and I need to get started. So remember, as always, before I leave, you deserve hair that is healthy and growing. It is my mission to help you get there. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.